Hey everyone, today we are going to be making these pretty leaf earrings out of copper flashing. For this project today, I'm going to be using some 4-inch wide 26 gauge copper flashing. I'm also going to be using some 20 gauge copper wire. You will also need a pair of needle nose pliers, a pair of round nose pliers, a pair of wire cutters, and a pair of these very sturdy Fiskars shears. Some other helpful tools will be a 6-step bail making pair of pliers. I've got this metal tool that's meant for scoring other metals. You're going to want a ruler, a permanent marker. I'm going to be using my handy dandy jump ring opener. You'll need a nice bench block or anvil. You will also need a rubber hammer and a chasing hammer. And the last things you'll need are some rubbing alcohol, a sharp awl, and some needle files. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my ruler and my scoring tool, and I'm going to mark out an inch strip of this copper flashing. You can see my mark is quite easy to see, and I'm going to go in with my very sturdy pair of Fiskars shears and cut that strip all the way down. And since this strip is so long, to keep from stabbing myself in the hand, I'm going to just cut halfway through and then switch to the other side and cut the other half. Now I'm going to go in with my ruler and my scoring tool, and I'm going to separate this into halves, so just shy of 2 inches tall. Now I've got two pieces that are about 1 inch by 2 inches. Now I will go in with my Sharpie and draw in a rough leaf shape. I'm going for something that's a little asymmetrical because I want it to be a little bit more organic shaped, but if you want it to be completely symmetrical, you might want to draw on a piece of paper that's folded in half so that you can use that as a template. Now I'm simply going to take my pair of Fiskars and cut all around the lines I just drew. And since those points are really pointy, I'm first going to round them out with my Fiskars a little bit and then clean them up with a needle file so they're not stabbing you in the neck. I like to make sure I run my finger over it after I've filed a little bit to see if it's smooth enough yet. I'm going to repeat that with the other corner of the leaf, and then I'm going to go all around the edges and check to make sure there's no little pokey bits that we left with our shears. Now, because I want my other earring to be an exact mirror image of this one, I'm going to take the first leaf that I cut out, and I'm going to trace it onto my second piece of copper flashing. I'm going to cut that one out, round off my corners, and smooth out the edges. Definitely take your time with the filing around the edges because we want this to be nice and comfortable to wear. I'm going to take a little piece of paper towel and soak it with rubbing alcohol so that I can gently wipe away the permanent marker. And just like that, it's like it was almost never there, and that's a really good life hack to know that alcohol will take permanent marker off a lot of different smooth surfaces. Now what I'm going to do is take my ruler and line it up with the center of one of my leaves, and then I'm going to make a big score mark right across the middle, like a big vein running down my leaf. I'm also going to score some other lines coming diagonally out of that center line so we can get it looking extra leafy. I'm I'm going to score again down my center vein so I can thicken it up a little bit. Now I'm going to take my needle nose pliers and line it up with my center mark, and I'm going to fold the leaf in half just a little bit. And that will give our leaf a little bit of dimension. Now I am going to go in with my very sharp awl and pierce a hole to hook our ear wires into. I'm going to first push it through the front, and then I'm going to push it through the back so that we have a nice clean hole. And this is just an awl that I bought at the Dollar Tree. It's nothing fancy. I'm not worried about ruining it or anything like that. I went in with some radial discs and a rotary tool to sort of smooth out the edges a little bit more. This is not completely necessary as long as you're going in with your file really well to smooth out those edges. It just makes my job a little quicker. I also hit the top surface of my leaf with my finest radial disc to see if I could get a little bit more of a polished surface on it. And I also went in with a wool buffing tip and some Dialux white. The polishing didn't honestly make that much of a difference, so you could totally skip this step. And since mine's now covered in Dialux, I'm going to scrub it off with a little bit of dish detergent and rinse and dry. I'm grabbing my 20 gauge wire and I'm going to snip off a fresh edge of the end here, and then I'm going to make myself a couple of 2-inch sections of wire. I'm going to put a little loop on the end of each one with my round nose pliers, and then I'm going to wrap them around the largest section of my 6-step baler to create my French hook. And then once I'm pretty happy with the curve, I'm going to go in with my needle nose pliers and upturn the ends just a little bit. Now I'm going to put them on my anvil and I'm going to flatten them out with my rubber hammer, and I'm going to flatten out the apex a little bit with my chasing hammer. Now I can open up one of my French hooks and slide my little copper leaf on there and close it back up. Do not forget to round out the tip of your French hook with your needle file, because we do not want anybody to get sliced up when they're putting it in their ear. I do not know where my footage of that bit went, but trust that I did it because I definitely don't want to slice up any ear holes. And there you have your really pretty little set of copper leaf earrings. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial and want to see more like it, please be sure to throw me a morsel of a subscribe, a crumb of a like, or a tasty tidbit of a comment. And if you really want to support this channel, you can go to my website at Xerelia.com, where I list all the jewelry that's featured on this channel, and I also have some patterns and bead kits on there too, so check it out. I will leave links in the description for you. Okay, bye!